shootout. You know, what are you thinking as you watch these teams go up and down?
Oh man, it was crazy. You know, I'm sure the atmosphere was nuts. You know, as a defensive player, you kind of wonder, you know, what was going on both sides of football. Obviously, really high-powered offenses. At the same time, you know, there's a couple plays you just wonder. You know, I wish they kind of, you know, the TV screen would kind of show the coverage so you can kind of see what goes on and what broke down in the back end. Because I mean, I don't know how you leave a guy like Tyreek Hill wide open in the middle of the field. So, you know, it was a fun game to watch. I actually stayed up the whole time to watch it. Put my daughter to bed. Came back down. It was 30-30. I'm like, dang, I got to stay up now. And next thing you know, it's what was 50, 51, 54, something like that. You know, a lot of points in the football game.
Do you feel it was a display of maybe the way the league is trending?
As far as you know, offensive high power.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't want to trend in that direction. I mean, just the amount of points that, you know, both teams are able to put up. You know, it only puts less pressure on your defense, and able to go out there and you know, execute and hopefully make plays, and knowing that your offense is going to go out there and score the football.
As a defensive player, why do you think scoring and these offenses have, you know, exploded, especially this season like they have?
Yeah, I think there's some really good offensive coordinators out there who has, you know, some really great players, and you know, you got, you know, offense like Kansas City, who's got a really good running back who I've yet to see get tackled on the first contact, and then you got Tyreek Hill. That opens up everything else for other guys. I think, you know, Connolly had a pretty solid game, and then you look at the other side, you know, they got Cooks, you know, Gurley, you know, a guy that is just going to open up everything. So, you know, really good offenses. It was fun to watch, and you know, I had a fun time watching my old Oregon State buddies, Cooks and then Steve Nelson, go at it.
As a starting safety on, you know, top 3 passing defense in the league, going into a game against either of those offenses, what's the game plan? What do you guys say to each other to try to stop them?
I think just big plays. You can't give up big plays against teams like that. You got to force them to be able to drive the football down the field, and if that's what they do, you know, kudos to them. You know, I think any game plan, you know, each team is going to have their big play threat down the field, and you got to, you know, kind of recognize those situations and understand that big plays are really the only thing that are going to hurt you. And so, if a team is able to drive, you know, 80 yards down the field and score, you know, all right, kudos to them. We'll come back to the sideline, make some adjustments, but you know, the big plays are the ones, you know, the 2-3 play drives that are, you know, 80-yard bombs. Those are the ones that I think hurt your defense, that hurt your team.
When you watch other teams just in general, whether it's offensively in this instance, do you look at the successful ones and compare it to this team and say, you know, maybe if we had this or we could use this or any of that?
No, I think every offense is different. You know, I think every team is different. You know, you got to use the players that you have and utilize them to the best of their ability. And so, you know, those teams have done that. And you know, I think our team is starting to find an identity on offense as far as, you know, who we're going to be. And, you know, I'm really excited to see them come out there on Sunday and play.
Do you have to be a high-powered passing team in this league to put up points like that?
I don't necessarily think you got to be a high-powered passing team. You know, I think you definitely got to be efficient in what you do. And I think you got to do the things that you do well, and I think you have to be able to run the football, in order to open up those lanes and those passing lanes.
Does it ever make you feel like you picked the wrong side of the ball when you're watching that?
Nah, not at all. I texted Micah last night, and I was wondering, like, dang, if that was us, I'd be sick coming in here as a defense. Even if we won the game, I'd be sick coming in here as a defense player, having watched the tape. You know, like I said, there was a lot of big plays in the game, and I mean, you know, us as spectators, as you know, people as fans, you know, love to watch that type of game. But you know, when you're kind of sitting back and you're kind of watching, you know, the defense and seeing how things are breaking down, you know, those are tough ones to bite.
And you look at the Rams defense, that's not a defense that doesn't have, you know, Pro Bowl caliber players. I mean, is it shocking to see 6 touchdowns like that?
Nah, it's tough, man. Cause I don't know what their game plan was. I don't know, you know, what they were coming in and trying to do. I'll tell you one thing: Donald is something to be reckoned with. He wrecked the whole game plan, and I've never seen a player like him. But you know, just to see, you know, it's tough. Like, it seemed like Kansas City was playing a lot of 2-man and man-to-man, and just kind of, you know, either slipping or falling, getting beat, you know, outside leverage on 2-man routes, and so. Like I said, it's tough, but it was a fun game to watch. I was, like I said, I stayed up all night watching the game. You know, and you know, a lot of things to learn from in that game though too.
Jordan, at 3-7, I don't think you guys are usually on a record you think about with playoffs, but you're only 2 games out. You know,
Yeah.
is there more optimism about your situation because the conference hasn't really run away from you guys?
You know, I think it's cliche, but, you know, we're one game at a time, really. And, you know, you never know what can happen with the rest of the games this season. And if you look at the front end of our schedule, I mean, all those games were really tough games to play. And now we're coming back in the back end of our schedule. We got 4 out of 6 at home. All winnable games if we just go out there and execute and do what we're supposed to do. And, you know, I mean, not saying those teams aren't good teams. They're very good teams. But we feel like, you know, if we go out there and execute our game plan, execute what we're supposed to do, we'll have a chance to win at the end.